probably been a little bit more present with like in my relationship and with family. I get home, but I'm not really at home often.
Christian Stevens, top mortgage broker who's broken every industry record. He's building a national empire with a $10 billion vision.
He's here to reveal what success actually costs.
Probably the greatest lessons you had from your childhood that you then carried through to adult life.
My parents did everything they could to put me into a private school. Seeing them sacrifice for my education was pretty powerful.
Has your success cost you anything that you weren't willing to lose?
It's cost me some friendships. You grow apart from certain people. You've only got a certain amount of time and you need to prioritize certain things. It just makes the guilt of the amount of work I'm doing worth it. What is the purpose of achieving big things if you can't share it with people that you love? I grew up with a family of a lot of love.
If you could pass on one bit of advice to really change someone's trajectory, whether it's a way of thinking, what would it be? And just going back to your partner for a second there, like two sides, two things I want to mention here or sort of ask. So you would never have been able to do what you did without her by your side through all this sort of stuff as well?
Oh, look.
You've obviously got the drive. You've got the animal instinct inside you.
Mate, I think you get distracted.
Yep.
Not as in other women if she's listening, but I mean, you have the blinkers on. Like when you've got great support around you, like professionally and personally, you're just heading in the right direction, right? If you're not, there's too many things going on outside of that, which just dilutes your focus. Yeah. Look, could I have achieved it? Yeah, probably, but not anywhere near in the same amount of time frame. And I definitely wouldn't be as happy as I am. And I think, what is the purpose of achieving, big things if you can't share it with people that you love? And that's no partner or family or whatever. Like that's the whole purpose of doing this. And I grew up with a family of a lot of love. Like that's all we had really. But that taught me that, hard work does pay off if you're in the right environment.
Yeah, for sure. I love it, man. It's cool. It's funny. I know you led into that around my side of things as well, but I think it's funny because a lot of elite performers that I've met have very much said the same thing. A lot of them go very close to because they push so hard. You know what I mean? Like to be wired the way we are to end up producing what we do, go on to do, and obviously you're in the process of doing always as well, right? Because you don't stop just because you achieve something when you're wired the way we are as well. But so often having that that support there allows it to. It is like you said before around the blinkers, having the blinkers on and not being distracted by other things. Yeah. And it's something that these days I have to be a little bit more careful of that I hadn't had to so much in the past. But it's one of those things, man, you want to keep achieving great things. You have to be wary of the distractions that can come into play. Because building something great takes a lot of great focus. It takes a tremendous amount of focus because exactly like you said, like over that long, you said this almost right at the start, the people like the billionaires who really succeed or the ultra high net worth individuals, they stick at something for a long period of time and get better and better and stay consistent with everything to do with it. And it's that piece of the stability. Sounds like the stability at home, obviously culminated that into
it makes it easier.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it easier as in the work.
Yes,
but it just makes the guilt of the amount of work I'm doing worth it. Yeah. And, even like 4 years ago, wherever it was, went to Europe, like, we got economy flights, and then the next week was the first time we'd find business. And I just remember thinking, God, that like, what a great achievement to be able to do something like that, which is like, it's such a material thing, right? It doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things if we were to die tomorrow, but knowing that you're able to share life experiences like that, it was fantastic. And the first time we went, we stayed in, the shittest hotels or cheap Airbnbs. And next time we stayed in 5-star hotels. And it's just, at the end of the day, she'd be absolutely fine in a shitty.
Either way.
I could not care less. Yeah. But it's just nice to not have to worry about it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. That's all it is.
Dude, I'm with you. And to share a similar experience, man, I remember, I was always an economy traveler, always traveled on a budget, always did. And then I only did my first business class long haul flight at the start of last year, went to Japan with Morgs. And we had a very, very similar sort of thing experience around it as well. And it was funny though, because it actually spawned from the European summer of the year before we flew to Europe. And we did the same thing, man. We kind of stayed at the cheaper stuff. We didn't worry so much about going all out. And then on the flight on the way home was Qatar, and we're in economy, and the flight got cancelled. And man, I was supposed to get in on a Saturday. No, I think it was on a Friday. So I had 2 days to get back to feeling normal before I started working on the Monday. And because I was in economy, they just tried to fit us in a flight everywhere. Man, it was an extra 2 days to get home, and it was an absolute punish. And I thought, I work my absolute guts out here. I could afford it, but I'm still thinking in that cheaper mindset at the time. And I just swore I would never fly, especially long haul. I'd never fly economy again. And so then the next trip we went on, we did business, man. And it was funny because like, it's not even so much like, it's not the material side of things, man. It's just like when you kind of walk into it and onto it, it's just you realize it's a different achievement, and you're not doing it because it's not like you're paying on credit cards and you can't afford it or whatever. It's like, I can actually afford to do this now, and these are what the hard years and the hard work and everything.
Money buys you time. It doesn't buy you happiness, and what you can do with that time is what makes you happy. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah, and experiences, right? Time and experiences,
100%.
Which ultimately are the two things you always remember.
Yeah.
It's not the actual monetary component of it.
No, not at all. It's if someone said, "How was Europe?" You're not going to think about how much money you spent.
Yeah,
you're going to think about the experience you had, or anything. Like, how was your day? So I was paid $6 for a coffee.
Yeah, it's true. Hey?
A delicious vanilla latte. Yeah. But yeah, what coffee do you drink?
Man, I'm 2. So before 12, I'm an ice long black, and then with lunch I'll have an oat cap. So
yeah, right. It's always interesting to when you hear people's coffee orders. Yeah.
It's funny. Last night I was with my mentor and my ops manager, and we're at dinner. And when we finished dinner, we all got this will be a telling story here. We all got different things. And mentor got a long black.
Yep.
And my ops manager got an oat latte. And mentor said, does that come in a men's? Does that come in a men's size? And then I think I got a cheesecake or something. You know what I mean? Like it was just such a funny
cheesecake
thing.
sounds like the best of
Man,
it.
it was the best. It was unreal. It was unreal. But it was just a funny thing, like the dynamic. You know what I mean? We're all judging each other for what we're.
But that's the same thing. Like, bring it back down to business. Like, everyone's just so different.
Yeah.
And if you can harness people's skills, like, it's crazy what you can achieve as a unit, as opposed to on your own.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love it, man. I love it. Man, I've got a couple of final questions for you before we wrap up as well. Beautiful. Man, we touched lightly on, I don't want to go all the way back to a backstory because I feel like we'd be way too much in reverse to go down that avenue, right? But I'd love to know the greatest lessons you had as a child, obviously, in sort of that. I know you said you come from a very loving family sort of thing, but you didn't come with money. Didn't grow up with money. Probably the greatest lessons you had from your childhood that you then carried through to adult life.
My dad used to always say to me, together we can achieve anything, which was great as a child, obviously. But then as you grow older, you realize that means more like, around having a supportive family.
Yep.
I used to actually, probably don't see it now, but I used to be quite a good athlete when I was a kid. Right. Cross country, track and field, skiing, rowing. Spent a lot of my childhood doing sport.
Yeah. So you were probably I was like 15 times a week. Like it was a lot, which is probably why I ended up going into nightclub promoting, because it was just the polar opposite of what I'd done prior to that. But what that taught me was the power of a team environment, training. And if you think of training, the physical sense of training in business, it's the same thing. If you surround yourself with great achievers, like anyone who's going to the Olympics, right? Like a couple of months out from Olympics, they will go to a training camp with the best nutritionists or the best trainers or the best athletes. It's the same thing. Like, if you want to be really good at anything, if you surround yourself with great people that are the best at what they do, you can't not get better. Yeah. And
that's our whole business model at Flint is, get the best brokers or the best credit analysts or the best ops managers in a room, and together we can achieve anything. And what else did I learn as a kid? Look, the only person holding you back is yourself. I've got plenty of people I know who have done things they're probably not proud of because of the environment they've been in. People that haven't lived up to their potential. People that are in jail. People that have killed themselves. And I think about this all the time, your potential and how to actually get the most out of yourself and out of other people. And I truly believe that the only person holding you back is yourself. And it's much easier to make an excuse or to blame someone else than to take ownership and to move forward. So I've always been a believer in the only person holding you back is yourself. And that's done pretty good things for me. And
where do you think that came from? Because that's actually that's especially in Australia, where in Australia everyone loves to blame everyone else, tall poppy, cut everyone else down rather than look at themselves. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty.
I don't want to mention my dad again, but that's another thing Dad used to say to me. Because it was when I left primary school and went to senior school, my parents did everything they could to put me into a private school. which at the time I was the only one of anyone that I'd ever known to go to a private school.
Really?
Yeah, like every one of my friends didn't go to I was in year 6 with didn't go to a private school in year 7, and then it was just a very big shock in a positive way. But it's again, there's nothing wrong with private or public. I'm just giving my own story here. But I think seeing them sacrifice for my education was pretty powerful. And it comes back to that, I said to you before, two people can have the same upbringing, same experiences, but you end up being very, very, very different.
Yep.
And it comes down to just the way that you look at things, the perception, the way you learn as well. A lot of people, I could have beat myself up over what happened last year with my ex-business partner, but instead I just went, let's just move forward and learn from the mistakes. And in hindsight, it's been the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Right? But it could have easily gone the other way.
Sure.
And I just think there's a power in just moving forward, and lessons are part of life. But that's been another big one. Mate, I think lessons are lots of little ones.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of things over the years that have knocked me about a bit, but nothing that I want to say out loud that there aren't other people that have other shit going on.
Yeah.
That's far worse.
Yeah.
There's always someone with a bigger boat, and there's always someone who has had a harder life than you.
Yeah.
So it's just not a fair representation to comment on that for me. But I just think that as I mentioned before, attitude's everything.
Yeah.
If you've got a great attitude and you genuinely want to make a difference, and you want to apply yourself, mate, you can't not get ahead.
Yeah.
But it's not easy, and you need to understand that.
Yeah. Where do you think? So I'm really curious in terms of where you think the drive came from as well. Like obviously athlete background, obviously good parents and everything as well, good upbringing from that perspective. But your drive is on another level from it's a one in probably a million sort of in terms of the drive level within that space.
Not wanting to go back to a situation, not wanting to go backwards.
Yeah.
I see so many people I know struggling all the time, and it's just not something that I ever wanted to do. I want to have control as well.
Yep.
I don't want to have someone else telling me what I can and can't do.
Yep.
Or controlling what I can and can't do, which is probably even worse. Where did my drive come from? The sport, definitely.
Yep.
Very competitive.
Yeah.
Hate losing.
I think that's where mine came from, really, honestly.
Hate losing.
Yeah.
Also grew up with 2 brothers.
Yeah.
So male boy household.
Yeah.
And a beautiful little sister as well. But she was much younger.
Always competing.
Always competing.
Yep.
We still are. If we get all 3 of us together, it's a nightmare. But, my mum was one of 6. They all had at least 4 kids. So I had a lot of cousins as well. So it was always pretty full on.
Yep.
But mate, I just was surrounded by some good people when I was younger.
Yep.
And I just think that goes a long way in terms of making sure that you make the right decision. I haven't for 1 second I've made many a bad decision in my life. Many things I would never do again if I had my time a second time. But that would mean that my life would have taken a different trajectory. I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't be in the job I'm with. I wouldn't have the business I've got. So, regrets is an odd one for me because I can't regret anything because then I wouldn't be in the position I am now.
Yeah.
But definitely I try and learn a bit faster these days. And I said before, I think great people in business just learn faster than others. That's pretty much it. And people who are successful have just failed one more time.
Yep.
It's not rocket science. But I do think there's a bit of luck there. I think the right time. But that luck is normally just, the hard work that's been unnoticed before that. But mate, there's a lot of people out there who probably you wouldn't think would have achieved what they've achieved.
Yep.
And there's plenty of super switched on, intelligent individuals who haven't done a lot with their lives. Yep. It's just comes down to what you want to do yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I love it, man. There's so much gold, I think, in unpacking stuff like that, even within the past. It's crazy how many people have the upbringing around the athlete side of things in the team sports. And I've always witnessed it so often there becomes there can come a real drive, or if you dive into someone that's achieved a lot of stuff and have that competitive nature, so often it can come from that early upbringing of sport or competition with the family and the siblings and all the rest of the stuff as well. Which is healthy, right? Healthy competition's good, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool, man. Has your success cost you anything that you weren't willing to lose? I know we're talking about regrets there, but
it's cost me some friendships probably. I think you grow apart from certain people.
Yeah.
I do think about often. Apart from that, nothing that weighs on me too much.
Yeah.
But definitely you grow apart from others.
Yeah.
Or they think you grow apart from them, which is not what they would normally say. But I just you've only got a certain amount of time, and you need to prioritize certain things.
We all go through growth, but right, you know what I mean. Like we all go through growth. Were you about to go into something else there?
No, I'm just trying to think what else,
Because I think that's a big thing, man. Where this is a top 1% podcast, right? And I think a lot of people listening to this want to aspire to be the top 1%, or they're in, they're in that transition of trying to get to greatness and trying to get to the top of what they can in their field, or they're finding their feet, or whatever it is. And I think a lot of people need to understand, like what you just ran through there. It's very natural and very normal that you will. It doesn't make it easier, but it's very natural and very normal to go through a loss of people, and it can be friendships and it can be family. And I personally have been through both, and it sounds like you probably have been as well. And I think it's something people need to prepare themselves for, or just like fucking accept it if it happens. And it's hard, but some of the biggest losses and lessons that I've ever had have come actually around relationships, both in business and personally, that have come from me growing and evolving at a breakneck speed, and other people not keeping pace with that.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and this is what I've realized myself, sometimes I have to acknowledge it, and if there's people that were worth trying to almost make it more of an amenable change, rather than just like, fuck, this is what's happening. You need to grow with it or not, which is for the most case in life, we can't be amenable to every person in there. Maybe there's one or two that we try and, stay amenable with in that instance, or try and keep them along the journey with us. But at the end of the day, when you're going through massive growth, it is inevitable that you're going to leave people behind, because not everyone can get on it, and not everyone is equipped to go through that same change. And especially if they're also not growing and changing at the same time, or going through their own growth phase or journeys, they're going to, call you a prick for not going out to dinners or catching up, or, I'm working till 10. I'm sorry, I can't make dinner tonight, or whatever it is. But that is a natural consequence of achieving greatness and achieving things that no one will ever achieve. And it's like what you're trying to achieve now and build, what you're on the path to building with in the brokerage space, which is going to smash everything. Yes, you're doing it now in a way that is probably more structured than anything else you've ever done, because of the team that you've built. But you can only do that because of in my opinion, because of the lessons you've gone through of probably growing at that breakneck speed and other things falling off at the same time as well. So it's like, you could never get to the position you're in now and have learnt the lessons you've learnt without going through almost those struggles and those, that scar tissue that is built from the cuts and the breaks and everything on the way through as well. And it's just all part of it. But people just got to accept that that's change, and that's what's going to happen. And you've almost got to be aware, because there will be people that are going to try and tear you down, and there's going to be people that try and almost.
That happens all the time.
It was like you were saying, people doing it behind your back and saying all the shit behind your back. And at the end of the day, fuck, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You got to keep growing and pushing through it, because otherwise you're never going to get there. And if you worry about everyone's opinion, you're definitely never going to get there.
The other thing would probably be, I could have probably been a little bit more present with, like, in my relationship and with family.
Okay.
Like
with your wife?
Yeah, it's been completely honest. I get home, but I'm not really at home often. Like, I'm on my phone, or I'm calling, or I'm worried about something, or that's definitely noticeable. But hopefully in time that'll be better. But yeah, it's definitely something that's my parents and my wife would comment on, is the present side. But it's quite hard to switch off for me.
And you're still like that?
Yeah.
Do you think you're still like that at this point because you're going through this growth in the new business as well?
Yeah, I've got a hunger inside me that it's just constantly, what's next? But mate, I remember when I left my previous, I'm told everyone this, when I left my previous employer, they said a lot of people want to see you fail. And I remember thinking, firstly, how fuck that was as a comment, but secondly, why?
That was your response?
In my head, I'm like, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Like, why would a lot of people want to see me fail when I've done nothing but support everyone around me and try and be as nice as possible. And that's when I realized that you can't please everyone. But it does weigh on me, man. It's hard. It's hard because, as I said, first they laugh and they follow, but it's constant in my position, negative comments around what I'm doing. Look, it doesn't bother me too much, but like it does, I'm only human. And I think anyone in any position would doubt themselves from time to time. But if someone hasn't done it before, that doesn't mean it's not achievable. It just means that they haven't done it. So I'm very confident that we will get to where we want to get to if we do it the way that we're doing it. Could we go and hire 300 brokers remotely and do the same thing? Almost impossible to do, like herding cats.
Yeah.
But if we do this state-based HQ model, then firstly it gets us there 90% faster. Yeah. And secondly, it allows other people to be part of something bigger, but ultimately still own their businesses and own their states and own their offices without us, micromanaging them, telling them what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big goal. Like I was in a meeting the other day and I told them that I want to settle 10 billion a year within 5 years, and a guy just laughed. I was like, it's a weird response. But then he realized I was serious. But after I explained how I do it, he goes, actually, that doesn't actually sound as difficult as when you preference it like
For
that.
sure.
But yeah, man, it's hard. It's hard. Weighs on me, and I lose a lot of sleep, and I have a lot of anxiety around, have I made the right decision, or am I putting too many eggs in one basket, or is this going to work? But I think most people wouldn't talk about that openly, but like that's pretty normal for anyone in any role, I think, and I'm sure you often get the same feeling, because you got a lot on the line.
For sure.
A lot. And you've got a team now. I've got 80 people I'm responsible for. It's not just me. If it was me, I couldn't care anywhere near as much. But now when you're responsible for other people, your decision-making becomes a little bit different because there's more weight behind what you're doing.
For sure. I hear you, man. I hear you. Matt, I appreciate you being real and honest with me on it as well. It's cool. I think one of the telling factors out of old mate that laughed at you when you said it, it's like what you said before of people can't fathom what they and they can't fathom what they can't even imagine. You know what I mean? Like if they can't even imagine this thing, how could they even think it's possible? Yeah. Then you got a man sitting across from you that's written the most in Australia, and you won 4 years in a row. You took it over at Shaw. Plus however many other times you've done it, man. It's just like if there's one person you don't laugh at when they make a statement like that, it's you, or it's someone that has done what well beyond what anyone else has done. And that's why, like, when you say around the 10 billion, it's funny because it was only about a month ago that one of our broker partners, I sat across from him, and he actually told me your story. And when he told me the fact that like no one writes $1 billion, I'm like next to no one writes $1 billion. And I'm like, what do you mean? And like, I just worked out the numbers. I'm like, that doesn't seem that hard. Like, why is it? And this isn't, by the way, this is just me with my brain going from a deals perspective and analyzing it, going, that doesn't make sense that no one's like smashing this number in consistently, exactly the same way that you put it at the start of like, it makes no sense the size of the Australian market and the size of the property market and how vested everyone is in it. How is no one smashing 2.5 billion? And that's why, like, when you said it, and then we went through all the different pieces in the business model and the structure and the way you're doing it and all the different acquisitions, building it all out, everything. I'm just like, to me, it makes so much sense. Like, there's no way I'd laugh at that. It's almost like I'm excited to see where it goes and how soon you actually hit 10 billion. Because obviously, depending on the rate of acquisition, depending on the way that you build everything else within it as well. Yeah, man, it's just a matter. It's a matter of when, not if. You know what I mean? It's not something to be laughed at because it's I don't think too many people would probably understand the drive that's involved. But
I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just a bit confronting for other people when you say it out loud.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I back myself 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Mate, sitting across from me and hearing you explain, I'll back you 100% as well. You know what I mean? Like, literally.
You can send me more deals, man. That'd be great if you want to help me get there. But
well, mate, you said you got the first time buyer arm. I have to get the investor arm humming, mate. What do you reckon? But yeah, man, no, I think it's really, really cool. And I really respect the vision and what you're trying to do as well. And I can really relate to it because I've heard other people talk about different things in the BA space and saying what's possible, what isn't possible. And I keep very tight-lipped. I don't talk about what I do openly to anyone really from a BA side of things because we do things so differently. And it's funny when people tell me how to do things. My brain just ticks so different from anyone else in the industry. And so everyone can talk their numbers, everyone can do their things, and we just build things our way. And maybe it's from not coming from a corporate background or whatever it is, but it's just what makes sense to me doesn't seem to make sense to anyone else in the industry, but it works.
Yep.
And so, yeah, man, same as you. You just block out the noise. You just keep it going on, keep doing your thing.
I heard
crush it.
Someone say something pretty cool the other day, like around the 2-minute mile, where it was like this unachievable thing
Mm-hmm.
for decades, and then some guy broke it, and then the next month, like 4 or 5
people
other
broke
guys
it.
broke.
I
Like,
only heard that recently as well.
it just defines
Yeah.
what's going to end up happening.
What's possible?
So there'll be a big.
You gave me goosebumps, bro. I got
Yeah,
goosebumps. Look at that.
there's no hair on those arms.
I know, man.
But it's just like all it's going to take is one person to do it, and all of a sudden you're going to see this big wave of other unbelievable businesses doing the same thing. Like our industry has a heap of really good businesses in it, but there's definitely a power in coming together and doing things at a bigger scale.
Yep. I love it, mate. I love it, man. If you could, I'm going to finish with a couple of finisher questions here, man. If you could pass on one bit of advice to really change someone's trajectory, whether it's a way of thinking or whatever, what would it be?
Think is it in property or in general?
Probably in general, man, because I think it's when it comes to someone's trajectory, I think so often it is literally in the mind that changes whether it's business or high performance or property.
Personal, just do what you want to do. It doesn't matter if you've got a university degree or if there's a certain way that it is traditionally done. Like if you genuinely want to be a buyer's agent or you want to be a pilot or whatever it might be, just go and do it, because you're going to end up hating whatever job you're in anyway. And if you're motivated and you enjoy what you're doing, the results normally follow. And I do think that, I know a lot of people that work who are miserable. They hate their job, and I just don't understand what is the purpose of spending the majority of your life doing something that doesn't make you happy. It's a bit fluffy to say something like that, but like it's like you've only got one life, and I think it might take something like someone close to you to pass away or a health scare to realize that, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I spending the time doing something I hate or in an environment I don't like that doesn't support me? I would just say, look, if you've got something that you're interested in, then the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to know you made the right decision, and then you can go back to whatever job you hate anyway. Yeah,
for sure. Man, it's a funny thing, hey, where people say, people talk about, would you chase your passion, or you chase what you're good at, or you chase what you could be paid highest for, or whatever as well. It's funny because, like, I think if you were being paid highly for something or something you were good at, but you didn't love it that much, if you could figure out how to unlock something that actually could pay quite well for something that you loved or something you were very good at, which in time you probably could enjoy as well. It's funny, man, because the different levels you could unlock with that and then go to, and then if it's something you actually love and enjoy as well, you're gonna have, when times get tough, man, if you don't love what you're doing, you're not gonna keep pushing forward. You're gonna want to throw in the towel.
100%.
So it's funny, hey, chasing that sort of passion side, as long as it is monetarily viable.
Yeah,
of course. But it can be such a different. It's funny because I hear so many conflicting versions on that from so many different people that I do actually respect their opinions, and you hear so many different ways of it, and I'm just like, it's
I had a team. I won't say who. I team member the other day. I had to let go, and I remember saying to them, "Look, I'm doing you a disservice keeping you here.
Yeah, right.
You're not a bad person. There's nothing wrong with you. You're actually pretty switched on, and you'd be a great asset. You're just in the wrong role, and you know that. It's like, why are you here? Like, I could keep you here. You'd be miserable. You end up quitting in 6 or 12 months' time anyway, or we'd end up having a falling out about something. I'd rather just let you go and you go and do something you enjoy. Like, what do you enjoy doing? And then they end up going and doing something that they are far better suited to. And that's not a representation of them as a person. It just was the wrong role for them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of businesses do the wrong thing by their employees by keeping them there to avoid getting rid of them. And, you're not getting rid of them. You're setting them free. Like, they're not supposed to be there. They hate their role. They're not going to be performing. It's going to end up costing the business more money by keeping them there from lack of performance as opposed to the cost of employing them. And I just want to be around people that firstly love what they do. Yeah. But secondly, like, they want to be part of a business that they're proud to be at. And if you've got people that are living and breathing and pushing your brand and aligned, like, as you've seen, it's incredible what can be achieved together.
For sure. 100%, man. I love that. Man, it's so important, hey, that they're all on the same. They got the same vision as you. Maybe not the same vision, but they buy into the vision and they actually love what they're doing as well. How long did it take you to make the decision to let that person go? Like, when you realized?
I actually made it very quickly in my head. Yep. And I probably... also, if I'm being honest, like, I performed very badly at Shaw Financial the first 2 years I was there.
Okay.
Barely came in, didn't apply myself, actually got let go once.
Really?
Yeah. And then I begged for them to take me back. Thank you. But Yeah.
Was it the second chance that made you go hard?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you were shit before that. You got a second
I
chance
actually
that made you go hard.
stopped, not that I had like a drinking problem or anything, but I stopped drinking for 100 days.
Wow.
So I do it now I've done it for 7 years now.
Yep.
From New Year's Eve onwards for 3 months and 2 weeks.
Yep.
I did 4.5 months this year. I'm going to try for 12 next year, sorry. It's the discipline, not the not drinking. So applying yourself consistently. Yes, obviously all the byproducts of sleeping better and having better health and everything else like that as well. But there is a power in discipline, applying yourself. And like as we see those like 75 hard and whatever else, right? It's the same kind of stuff. Like if you apply yourself consistently for an extended period of time, it's mind blowing what you can achieve. Like 75 hard is a physical version of what you can do in business mentally.
For sure.
So if you apply yourself in business and if you pick up the phone, you make 50 connects every day religiously for 3 months, you can't not get business.
You can't not win.
It's impossible.
Yeah. Yes.
But like 90% of people won't go and do that work.
Yeah.
And 90% of people won't finish the 75 hard. So it's the discipline is what gets you there, and that attitude, and not so much the activity itself.
What do you do now to make sure you retain that? So every year you do your 100 days.
I love it. I can't wait for it.
Really?
Yeah, I just
really.
Yeah, it's the best. And look, my wife now does it. Heaps of my mates do it now. Mate, you're much more present. You sleep better. Your motivation's through the roof. You get to 11 a.m. and you've done a whole day's worth of work. You're better under pressure, definitely. And ask any single person who's given up alcohol, and not one of them will say they're better. They don't feel better. Like there's not one.
Yeah.
If anything, they'll feel like they're preaching to you because the change is so significant. But yeah, man, it's noticeable. And what I love is the energy and the drive that I get from business performance far outweighs any enjoyment I'll get from going out for a drink. Yeah. And that for me is like is addictive. Like that feeling you get by just achieving. It's just what motivates me these days.
I think it's funny too, because like you would have different values and different things that would give you serious joy these days. And I think when you're at a high level in business and then you are feeding off that, and there's results of feeding off it, and the compounding effect of the wins, right? Stacking the wins. And if that culminates from that discipline, then culminates into wins, being stacked. It's man, it's addictive. Exactly like you said there. It's addictive to have that continued win. And I can see why you probably want to run through for the full 12 months next year. Man, what else do you think you have from a discipline perspective that you continue to apply? Obviously, you have that's 100 days a year, 4.5 months this year, going for 12 months next year. But outside of that, you still train a lot?
No, I walk a lot.
Okay.
No, I need to get back into my training. It's one of those things though, that as soon as I start, I'll know I can't stop. I might do a full midlife crisis and sign up for a marathon.
That's a go-to these days, isn't it? The old halfie.
But mate, like I love my walks. I lost 10 kilos recently just by walking and eating a bit better.
Congrats, man.
Discipline is like, I'll get up every morning. I'll do an hour of emails first thing.
Yep.
Have coffee with my dad. Comes over for coffee each morning. He's in Sydney. And then we're kicking us out. And then I just think time. Yep. Discipline is because these days like being good with time management is powerful because you can't. 95% of meetings don't need to happen, if I'm being honest. Yeah. And that it can either be an email or a voice note. I actually reached out to Marty last week for a bit of feedback. He's been too busy, but he's going to get back to me at some point this week. How do you
living up on the GC?
How do you stay connected remotely?
Yep.
Like he's really good at it. He'll FaceTime you.
Yeah.
He'll send you voice notes.
He does, yeah.
I remember the first time he faced me, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And there's a beautiful grin staring you in the face. But what I realized is the FaceTiming and the voice notes gives a human touch to what is text-only communication.
Yep. And
it's a very easy way of connecting without having to physically be in front of someone.
Yep.
Because I'll get those challenges now. I've got so many different team members. It's like, I want to stay connected to them. How do you do that in a way that's not unsustainable? But also genuine.
Yep. So just an email or a text. It's
like just pick up the phone to a voice of FaceTime for 1 minute.
Yep.
Like you can get a whole days worth of emails back and forth.
sure.
But also they can see your face, they can
Yep.
see your mannerisms and what you're smiling, and that's quite powerful, right? Because a text or an email, you can't tell how people are actually feeling. You can't really understand a lot, and it's just a very easy way of kind of connecting. So, and look, again, like that's just me being honest. Like I don't think for one second I've got all the answers, but I'm happy to ask someone who I think is doing good things how they do things.
Yeah.
And I think I've never shied away from asking for feedback, or help.
I love
because like you can't, like delusional thinking you've got all the answers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd rather ask someone who's rocks out what they do, get the right answer, and then not have to go stuff around for 2 years and work it out myself.
Yeah. I love that, man. So always be in a phase of learning, right? Always be looking to learn and take as much as you can.
Yeah.
Mate, I love that. I love that. Mate, my final question that I always like to finish with, what do you believe is the number one character trait of the top 1%?
Resilience, probably.
Just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Don't think dissuade you.
Mate, like that's pretty much the success story of most people is if you push through that near disastrous valley of death, mate, the magic happens once you push through, definitely.
Yeah. And push through every time it happens, right? Because it's going to happen more than once.
It's going to happen regularly.
Yeah,
Regularly.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Sounds like you and I both had a pretty similar year so far this year, mate.
It's been an interesting one.
There's been a few valleys of death for the two of us.
There's been a couple, yeah.
Mate, I love it. Christian, mate, thank you so much for joining us today, man. It's been an insightful episode, man. I've really, really enjoyed it, mate. So thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.